Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
I'm Chemda.
Chemda in the Dominican Republic. Chemda comes back to America tonight. I mean, maybe.
That's right.
I'm just kidding. It'll be fine. Right after this show, right? You're coming back. Did you get Dramamine?
I didn't, but I have other stomach situations at the ready.
Such as
Tums, and I forget the name of the other one that comes in pill form.
certs. You know, let me let women know out there what a treat it is to date Keith Malley. Everybody laughs at my medicine holder, but when you date me, I save lives. Chemda gets sick on airplanes and cars, but don't worry. She has 50 cents worth of Tums, so everything's going to be just fine. And that's fantastic.
I have pills. I'm just forgetting the name.
Tums?
No, Tums is not a pill. Tums is the mild version that you chew on, but then you take the pill version that's like, hello. Hello.
All right. We're going to need a picture of this bullshit. Anyway, let's think about happy thoughts. It was Xerxes' birthday.
That's right.
How do you celebrate? You go away a beach and buffet again?
Yeah, it's kind of like you wake up and you go, anything you want. Today I say yes to whatever. And it's like, what do you want to do? You want to go out to eat somewhere special? And he's like, you mean the buffet?
Right.
I'm like, yeah, but also seconds on ice cream.
Do you yell like, birthday boy coming through? Birthday boy.
He would kill me. He would murder me with that. No, he likes a nice subtle birthday, just what any boy would want. Just make yourself happy, go to the beach, and then when we come back to New York, we'll have some real steak.
You coming home the end of this journey. Good timing. You can use more days, less days. How do you feel today?
I don't want to come back to the freezing cold. I'm allergic to cold. I'm convinced of it. I need to be here in the warmth. However, I said that today. We were in the water and I'm like, I don't want to go back. Maybe we just go across town where it's better Wi-Fi and we get some sort of really cheap Airbnb. Let's just tell our landlords that we no longer want to live there. We can figure it out. I don't know, something. And then he's like, okay, what have you thought of this? New York pizza tomorrow, a fat joint and a bicycle ride. And I'm like, all right, I think I'm ready.
There's New York pizza, the thin pizza. There's Chicago pizza, the thick, messy pie. And Dominican pizza, I guess, has fish sauce in it, and they don't tell you.
Honestly, it really could be. I don't know what is in the pizza, but it's not pizza. So looking forward to some pizza. That's all I can say.
Well, let's get to the big news. There's a lot of stuff to talk about today. Probably the biggest, the Prince Harry book is out. Now, Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, they say, look, we don't want to be with the royal family anymore. Please respect our privacy. Here's 3 Netflix specials, a book, a couple movies, TV shows, and a documentary. Could you please leave us alone and not get in our business?
There's like little tidbits, I guess, because of the book coming out, but I see little tidbits of he was on mushrooms and he did something with the toilet or something. And I'm like, I don't know why, but I'm cringing and I don't want to know this about you. And I think it's like, I'm judging myself because I'm like, well, he's just trying to be a regular person. And I'm like, that's not even regular.
Right.
It's, I get it. You don't want to be a prince, but not everyone talks about, what is it? A finger up his ass? I don't know. Like, you don't have to be every other podcaster if you're not going to be a prince.
Please respect my privacy. The cover of my book, which is called Spare, Spare, S-P-A-R-E, because his brother, Prince William, is the heir, H-E-I-R. He's understood to be the backup, the spare. If something happens to William, but also if William needs a bone marrow transplant or a lung, it's good you're here. That's the way he feels, according to this book.
Why am I exhausted about this? And I don't even get into it at all, but why am I like, I feel like he's like, I'm not a prince and I'm going to be regular now. And I feel like going like, hey,
Right.
This is not regular. If
Well,
you want regular, just hold hands walking down the street and like, have some nice dinner every here and again.
the name on the book is Prince Harry. Prince Harry, and his face as big as can be.
Yeah, he looks like who's the redheaded comic that always takes up at least 3 spots on the top of iTunes? Come on, you can do it. You can
Redheaded?
Or blonde. Why do I want to eat this? He talks to
Right.
himself.
Jim Gaffigan.
Yeah, we did it. Yeah, he looks like Jim Gaffigan on the cover.
He got a $20 million advance for this book. Now, when you're a celebrity like this, I'm always confused about the money because, as I'll read to you, I'll tell you about this toilet, Chemda. All the juicy parts, if there are any, are going to be in the newspapers. How are they going to sell 1.7 million books?
And also, again, I'm judging myself for judging, but all the stuff that I read so far that's supposed to be juicy, I'm like, I don't want to know this about you. I don't know why. It's supposed to be all like gossipy and like, ooh, he's so not what I thought of. I'm just like, I don't know. You're so boring in that you want to be so normal and you're crazy. I don't know.
I came up with an opinion about him when I normally had no opinion. I've said it's an autobiography, of course. I said when it comes to this royal family and he's saying no to everything people hold dear, I'm like, who cares? Leave it. Say, hey, I didn't expect racism somehow. I didn't expect this. I didn't expect that. Just leave. Who cares? I wouldn't care if you used them. I wouldn't care if you met this woman who's an actress who wanted even more publicity. He goes, you know what? I'll marry you. We'll get a couple million on top of that, and then we'll leave them. And then you'll be an even bigger slut. I wouldn't even care if you did that. It's just
why aren't we learning about what her next acting role is instead of what he did on some toilet? What happened to her acting career that was so precious? Is that in the book?
No, this is more about him not getting along with his brother, your toilet story. We'll worry about the career later. This is what people care about, the royal family. It's written up to he talks about being a kid and his mom dying. His mom died when he was 4 years old. Princess Diana. And then the book ends with the death of his grandma. And by the way, if you guys, those of you who saw the funeral, did you see the horses kind of smiling at the funeral? I do not miss this queen that passed away. You guys all know this story already. I think it was on Oprah. The Queen of England would fart. She's old. It's loose down there. But no one would even say anything. They'd look away, not to make it a big deal. And she would go, did you hear that? And they'd be like, what is it, Queen? The horse farted, put it down. And the royal guards would have to bury a horse. I'm not exaggerating, bury horses in the back of that park. It's disgusting. And I think the horses are kind of happy, Tis the horse that tooted, not some more. And it's disgusting. And once you know that when that came in the news, all the other things just fall into place, kind of, if you ask me. It's a disgusting family.
Repeating that, and that's going to get on Wiki somehow, and going to find its way into the biography of this woman's life.
He doesn't talk about the horses in this book because I think that would be too much. But he does talk about how they weren't nice to him, the family in general. And then I'm, and he talks about, and I'll bring this up. He talks about he dressed up as a Nazi once at a Halloween party. Yeah, that's why he's like, I'll marry a black woman. He should have married a Jewish woman, but he's like, close enough, not really.
Wait, why was it? Why am I looking for a reason? What did he find interesting about?
He was either going to be he doesn't say that. He says, I was either going to go as a soldier, or I was going to go as like a freedom fighter, or I was going to go as a Nazi. And William and his wife encouraged me to go as a Nazi. So I went as a Nazi, and I was embarrassed. The end of that story. I don't know how you're going to sell 1.7 million books.
Who wrote the book? That's not a story.
Supposedly he did. All right, so here's some stories from the book. You tell me if they're going to make their $20 million back. Harry added that the only time he cried over Diana's death as a child was when her coffin was lowered into the ground. Quote, It was reported that Mummy's hands were full. Okay.
No.
Mummy's Princess
No.
Diana. It was reported that Mummy's hands were folded across her chest, and between them was placed a photo of me and Willie, his brother William, possibly the only two men who ever truly loved her. Certainly the two who loved her the most. Again, he was 4 when she passed. Yeah.
Ooh. Okay.
And whenever he talked about the Queen, he called her Granny. Now, this doesn't do you any favors. You talking like a fucking child. You're royalty. Have some respect. Have some self-respect.
No, that's what he's saying. He's just regular.
Yeah. Papa and Mama and Mummy and Grammy.
Willie.
Yeah, I don't talk like that. You don't talk like that. No one talks like that. You hear somebody talk like that on a date, you're jumping through a window, through the bathroom at dinner time.
I honestly, I don't even like when grown adults use the word mommy and daddy.
Right.
You know, like my daddy, and I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. How old are we?
So again, like I said, at first, you know, I don't care about this. It's funny that people, I don't know anything about it. Fuck up the royal family. Who gives a shit? But at the end of reading the highlights of this book, I do have an opinion about this, about everything. The press learned when Harry was in school, he'd been accused of cheating at school. He was later cleared of any wrongdoing. What?
But who clears what? Oh, it turns out you didn't cheat on your math test.
Right.
What?
So he never cheated. Okay. He never cheated in school.
I did.
That's weird. Of course he did. I did. You did. Everybody did.
Who didn't cheat? That should be the poll. You had to have cheated. There is no way. There's no all the classes. And by the way, does it count if you're the one giving the answers? Because that's cheating too, right? I don't care about that as much. Like I did both ways. I gave the answers. I
did too.
I don't give a shit. You participated. I looked over at your paper. I don't care. I did it for several classes. Somehow I'm still the same idiot or genius that I would have ended up being.
He said he was later cleared of any wrongdoing in school. The damage was done, though. This is a quote. The damage was done. The accusation stuck.
What? Where? At what job interview? Did that follow you somewhere? Where? To where?
We're wondering if you're going to tell us about, that Prince Andrew raping kids at Epstein's Island. I'm hearing in school you cheated. Oh,
what does that mean?
Stuff.
Your wife had trouble trusting you? Who cares?
That's the end of that section.
No, it's not.
Yeah, that's the damage was done. You'll see a pattern. In January of 2005, Harry was invited to a Natives and Colonials party and wrote that William and his new girlfriend, Kate Middleton, offered to help him pick out a costume. He said he really liked Kate from the beginning. Quote, whenever I worried that Kate was going to be the one to take Willie away from me.
Ew.
You're an adult. It's 2005 already. I consoled myself with thoughts of all our future laughing fits together, and I told myself how great everything would be when I had a serious girlfriend who could laugh along with us. There's also a pattern of he really wanted to have a family.
Wait, I don't understand. A girlfriend might be taking your brother away from you?
Yes, and he'll get them back when he has a girlfriend of his own. They can all laugh together as a couple.
I swear, I almost just threw up.
Yeah. Harry said that he narrowed down his options to either a British pilot or a Nazi soldier, and he claimed that Will and Kate encouraged him to choose a Nazi costume. Harry wrote then people started, going, hey, asshole, what the fuck? Because the picture came out. And he said that he went to see a rabbi who, quote, urged me not to be devastated by my mistake, but instead to be motivated, and later visited with an Auschwitz survivor.
What is that story? You got pardoned by a Jew?
Right. He's saying he got a pass. What rabbi is going to go, yeah, you should go home and cry? No, use it as an opportunity. Of course, a rabbi is going to say use it as an opportunity, talk to a survivor, but who gives a fuck?
Yeah, you should use an opportunity, but like, when was the opportunity? Holy shit. And also, thanks for throwing the other two under the bus. You gave them stupid, like,
they did
hey, should I be a Nazi? I guess, weirdo.
Right. And it's right after he says how much he liked the two of them. So he's really blaming them for dressing as a Nazi.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at all the people he just stated gave him permission to do stupid shit.
So
and he was pardoned.
So he tried to fight in the military anytime there was some kind of controversy, like the Nazi controversy would happen. He would say, I want to be sent to the battlefield. Anytime any little thing happened. Soon after leaving for Iraq, he was called off but each time he was taken off the battlefield because supposedly the enemy knew he was there and there was a bounty on his head because he is royalty.
Does he know that's not how an army works?
Soon after leaving,
you don't sit at home and go, you know what? Let me in. I'm ready. Let me in.
British intelligence agents learned that photos of Harry had been circulating around Iraqi snipers and that he was being called, quote, the mother of all targets. When he returned home, he wrote, quote, I pondered quitting the army. What was the point of staying if I couldn't actually be a soldier? Let's see. Once she was pulled, yeah, anytime he tried to go back, he was pulled off right away, saying that he was a wanted person by the enemy. Here's another section. In March 2012, Harry was asked to go on an official royal tour to commemorate Queen Elizabeth II's 60th year on the throne. Upon his return, he said he got rave reviews for his performance and decided he deserved a celebration before leaving for another deployment. So he went on a trip. He deserves a celebration because he went to a 60th celebration and didn't, what? I guess give the Nazi salute.
He wore the appropriate outfit.
He knew who to bow to and who to shake hands to. He was a real pro. He went on a trip to Las Vegas with his friends. Quote, people kept handing me drinks. And by the time the sun was dipping over the mountains, I was in rough shape and filling up with ideas. I needed something to commemorate this trip, I decided. Something to symbolize my sense of freedom, my sense of carpe diem. For instance, a tattoo, but plans got derailed. The end. Instead, I kept drinking and playing blackjack. At one point, I was losing so badly, I had to strip naked. The next day, naked photos of Harry were all over the internet, all over media.
Wait, what? Are we reading Cliff's Notes?
He claimed that one of the women invited to the room had taken advantage of him. Quote, I berated myself. How did I let it happen? How had I been so stupid? Why had I trusted other people? I counted on strangers having goodwill. I counted on those dodgy girls showing some basic decency. And now I was going to pay the price forever. These photos would never go away. Then he goes, luckily, I was going off to war again as a distraction.
Are you being serious?
I'm being very serious.
Were those actually the words that were next?
Yes. No, just in the book, he's relieved to go off to war.
He's relieved to go off to war. You hear that,
anytime
everybody?
He's embarrassed, he wants to go to the battlefield, be happy if he died, because the press is so much.
I see, the press. But the way he's depicting it is people kept handing you drinks. I don't know if he knows this, but when I sat at the table in Vegas or in Atlantic City, people kept handing me drinks also. They're called waiters.
After the scandal, Harry headed back to war, where he learned the members of the Taliban had cut a hole into a fence on base and were allegedly planning to kill him on his birthday. The ultimate bummer. Quote, the Taliban had learned about my presence on the base and the details of my tour through the nonstop coverage by the British press. How would the press know? He killed 25 people in the military, he said. Quote, it wasn't a number that gave me any, so he had to leave. But he did fight a little bit and he killed 25 people. It wasn't a number that gave me any satisfaction, but I decided to put it in the book. But nice round number, but neither was it a number that made me feel ashamed.
Were 25 people that you killed supposed to give you satisfaction? Do you think that's how people come back from war? Do you think that they put him in a VR room and said, like, yeah, you totally shot 25 people. We need to get you out of here because the Taliban is looking for you?
That's a lot of confirmed kills. Him and the American sniper. But neither, it wasn't.
But people don't come back from war telling people how many people they killed. That's not something to be proud of.
Oh, people don't get $20 million for a memoir after they come back from war. You got to give us some.
He killed 25 people.
Confirmed. So you assume more, right? Or he just knows.
He killed 25 people.
Yeah, he killed 25 people.
Wow.
Yeah. Surprised that news never came out until a book did. But neither was it a number that made me feel ashamed. Naturally, I'd have preferred not to have that on my military record or on my mind. But by the same token, I'd have preferred to live in a world in which there is no Taliban, a world without war, end quote.
Are you making this up?
I'm not making it up. And spoiler, I've decided I hate him.
No shit. What the fuck are we reading? I was totally like, yeah. Another couple and very cute. You know, sure, people follow your wedding. It's lavish, it's elaborate, absolutely. But this is silly goose. And then you're talking. Did he really go to war?
Imagine
can you just do that?
Imagine you tell. Yeah, he said he had to figure out his own path in life.
But can you just go to war? If you wanted to go to war right now, could you just go to war?
If you're a prince. Like, because my dad was a prince, I'm a duke. I could go back into war if I wanted.
But do you fly with the rest of the people being deployed and they give you a gun and go shoot that way? How do you just join war?
They make, you know.
You're making this up. Get the fuck out of here. Is this your next book? If I was Harry or whatever?
If I did it. Imagine you wrote an autobiography. You're telling your life. You could say whatever you want, quite frankly, and you come off as an asshole. That's some book. Following the end of his military career, Harry said he felt like he didn't have much of a purpose. After
wait.
Yes.
How do you get to the end of your career?
You did it. You killed 25 people. You can leave.
But how do you know when your career, Keith, how did you know when your military career was over?
They told me time-wise, you signed up for this time and now it's over.
So how long?
But I wasn't royalty.
Okay.
And it's best if his book doesn't have dates, isn't it?
Right. When was he there? Oh my God.
After attending the Warrior Games, an athletic event for veterans, he decided to create something similar in the UK. When he brought up this idea to his brother William, he wrote that William seemed jealous that Harry had come up with the idea on his own. Harry writes, quote, "Hadn't he built up an insurmountable lead over me? He was married with a baby on the way, while I'm eating takeaway alone over a sink. In a castle." I mean, I understand it's a bit drafty, but. And he launched the Invictus Games.
So he made people play bowling or whatever. What did he do? You literally can say, "I now am holding Olympics in my backyard," and
yes.
people are like, "Yeah, I'm signing up."
And the brother was jealous. He's like, "I wanted that idea." He does infer how the whole family, it was about press and who got the most attention, and everyone was jealous of everyone else. He just wanted to live with great ideas. He began having panic attacks, but not from war. He realizes it started when his mom died, and his brother William made fun of him for it, which Harry calls ironic. What's that?
They were children. You're getting made fun of.
Right. Well, as an adult, William made fun of him. Now, as an adult, he's getting made fun of William for panic attacks. And Harry says it's ironic because William has a charity focused on mental health. But Harry went to therapy and got it figured out.
How did he make fun of him?
Hey, panic attack. Breathing much?
I mean, if it's going to be clever, you got to do it.
Yeah.
So. Funny's funny.
Although he had decided to work as a full-time royal during the time. Yeah. Do you use the word work? Harry said that he was growing.
Wait.
Yeah.
Hold on.
You heard right.
On his resume, it says
full-time.
I killed 25 people and then I was a full-time royal. Don't worry about the dates. I totally did all of that. while eating food over the sink. P.S. Panic attacks, but send me to war again. I'm ready.
Although he had decided to work as a full-time royal during the time, Harry said that he was growing increasingly ambivalent about... Let me tell you something. I wrote an autobiography. It's called The Great American Novel. Can I tell you that was work? And I think there needs to be a different word for like certain books. Anyway, there, I got that off my chest. Harry said that he was growing increasingly ambivalent about the role of royal family after witnessing the way they stressed out over who got the most press coverage. Quote, maybe the stress around all this stuff stemmed from the overarching stress about the monarchy itself, the stress the family was feeling, the tremors of global change, hearing the cries of critics who said the monarchy was outdated and costly, fear of the public.
He's the biggest whore in this, in wanting the public's attention.
Yeah. Fear of the public, fear of the future, fear of the day the nation would say, okay, shut it down. So he felt all this energy and that fucked with his head.
I mean, I get that. Yeah, sure. Yes. But you just talked about 25 kills in less trauma.
Right. Harry revealed, this is your story, Chemda. Harry revealed that he turned to psychedelics to help with his anxiety. Quote, psychedelics did me some good as well. I experimented with them over the years for fun, but now I begun to use them therapeutically, medicinally. One time, for example, but here's how. So I'm like, okay, how do you do that though? I've heard of
with a doctor, like, are you doing sessions? Are you microdosing? This is actually important. How big is this book that he can't fit in some details?
Well, that's the end of that. But here's a fun story about psychedelics. At a party, he met actor Will Arnett. Will Arnett he's in Arrested Development. He's the asshole magician brother. He also does the voice for Lego Batman. And he met Will Arnett and he kept asking Will Arnett as he's on mushrooms to do the Batman voice. Quote, he wanted to say no, but he didn't want to be impolite, or else he recognized that I wouldn't stop. That's the end of that section. After his encounter with Arnett, Harry wrote that he found mushroom chocolates in the refrigerator at this party and said that later, during a trip to the bathroom, he believed the toilet had turned into a talking head. The end.
I'm sorry. He found mushrooms in somebody's refrigerator.
Yes.
How is that yours? Also,
he sounds like an asshole.
What is it labeled?
Right.
It's just chocolate in a fridge. You went into these people's fridge and took their special mushroom chocolate and then talked to the toilet bowl.
It worked for me medicinally, and the toilet talked to me. Like, okay, if that's helping you, I guess.
So what? You're tripping balls. The toilet might talk to you.
Here's how he met Meghan. At age 32, after seeing a photo of Meghan on Instagram, complete with the dog filter from Snapchat, he was instantly enamored. Well, she's hot. The two began talking. Quote, it occurred to me how uncanny, how surreal, how bizarre that this marathon conversation should have begun on July 1st, 2016, my mother's 55th birthday. The universe is giving us clues. Numbers are everywhere, people.
Okay, he sounds like your dad now.
Yeah, he does, right?
Yeah, he really does. He really does. Like, you can't tell what's the truth and what's not.
Yeah.
It's stories that go nowhere and then end in ta-da!
Yeah. I prefer a world without
what?
war, without pain, semicolon, with, however, comma, peace.
Semicolon, I killed 25 people.
Right. After early dates and a trip to Africa, the pair were quickly committed to each other. Quote, I'd always told myself that there were firm rules about relationships. Yeah, this is my dad. At least when it comes to royalty. And the main one was that you absolutely must date a woman for 3 years before taking the plunge. But Meg seems like the shining exception to the rule.
Oh, yeah. Just like when your dad was a priest and he went to your mom's house to bless it. Yeah. And then, oops, fell in love and gave up the priesthood.
Found my mom 2 months in. Saw my mom 2 months in. Didn't last as a priest 2 years. Harry said William confided in him, saying that he felt their mother had been guiding him through life. When Harry revealed he felt the same, then Harry revealed that he felt the same and believed that Diana had brought him Meghan. William responded, quote, that seemed to be taking things a bit far. Now, Harold, I'm not sure about that. I wouldn't say that, end quote. That's how my dad quotes things.
Yeah. Yeah.
He said, looked me in the eye and said, Harold, like, did you keep a diary? I do have quotes in my book, The Great American Novel, but those quotes were written down like, oh my God, you fucking said that? I wrote it down. Then looked at all these things later and made a book. You don't know these quotes. Don't quote people.
Also, why is it Willie when he's talking and Harold when the other one is?
Right,
like,
because he's cool, he's hip.
Yeah, I'm just cute and like, you know, not pretentious. And I call everybody by nicknames, but this other guy, he's going to be a king. So he's got to be serious all the time. And he doesn't really get it like my mushroom head does.
So they, you know, Meghan, they started being racist against Meghan for being black, the press. When he told his father that he believed the monarchy's lack of condemnation against the press was a bad look, he wrote that Charles, his dad, appeared, quote, unmoved. Months later,
I don't believe him anymore.
Right. Months later, when Harry discussed marrying Meghan, he told him that there wasn't enough money for a new member of the family. Quote, Pa might have dreaded the rising cost of maintaining us, but what he really couldn't stomach was someone new dominating the monarchy, grabbing the limelight, someone shiny and new coming in and overshadowing him. And Camilla, he lived through that before and had no interest in living through that again. So he's saying the person that his dad ended up loving after Diana, he still didn't like, she got attention. He just wanted to marry her nonetheless.
I'm sorry, but if I was this dude's father, king, prince, or otherwise, right, I'd be like, oh, you saw someone on Instagram and you broke all your boundaries and now your mother's talking to you from the dead. Yeah, maybe a little red flag or two. Okay. Right. No judgment, just a little like, let's step back for a second.
Harry says that one of the big disputes between Meghan and Kate Middleton was that Meghan joked that Kate had, quote, a baby brain after forgetting something. Just a funny joke. Hey, babe, you got a baby brain. That is a cute joke. I hate her too. He wrote that Meghan apologized and said it was a joke, but Kate shot back, quote, another quote, you talked about my hormones. We're not close enough for you to talk about my hormones, end quote. Harry said that William...
What about her hormones, though?
You talked about them by saying I have a baby brain.
That's hormones?
Hormones!
Oh, hormones.
You don't know everybody's story.
No, I don't.
Harry said that William appeared to believe most of the false narrative the press was spreading about Meghan. Like what? Which led to several more spats, including an alleged physical altercation during which William pushed Harry to the ground. Quote, we had a million physical fights in our lives. As boys, we'd done nothing but fight. But this felt different.
Wait. Why did it say allegedly there? He's writing the book.
Did I say allegedly?
Yeah.
Haim said William appeared to the false narrative that the press was saying. They fought, quote, we'd had a million physical fights in our lives. As boys, we'd done nothing but fight, but this felt different. Following this, the two households stopped sharing an office together.
Oh, okay. Thought you said allegedly.
Let's see. They went on a tour. Let's see. Meghan was pregnant. They embarked on a tour of Australia and New Zealand. You know how you do. Harry wrote that Meghan did incredibly well on tour. That's great. Sometimes you spit on people on tour. But no, she was great. She was new to this scenario and again knew who to bow to and who to shake hands with.
No, see, you're even filling that in. It's more like how your dad talks. She did incredibly well. What are you talking about? Right. How does one do incredibly well with what? Why is that the end of your sentence? Why is incredibly a big word, a descriptive word? None of these are describing what actually happened. I know nothing. How did you do incredibly well? You stayed pregnant. You didn't flip people off. What's incredibly well on some sort of vacation?
My wife was good in her own right. I felt compelled to warn her, he wrote. You're doing too well, my love. Too damn well. You're making it look too easy. This is how everything started with my mother, end quote. You're not getting caught crying behind a tree at all the attention and adulation. You're not getting caught hiding in the trunk of a car. You are doing so well. I'm nervous you're doing too well. And they're going to love you like too much. And you'll die by paparazzi running you off the road. Let's see here. He said it's becoming too much with the press. I think we have to do something. I might have to figure out a different arrangement with the royal family. Let's see. After Meghan and Harry vocalized their intentions to leave the royal family, but not, he says, I was given many options. I was given 5 options, he said. He said from staying with the family all the way
Why
to
not list
option.
the options?
Right. All the way to option 5 to fully leave. In between, different leave here, come back sometimes, work over here, say you're still part of the family, but don't live in the castle. You were given 5 options, A to Z.
How did this pass an editor? What's one more option?
He wrote that he was shocked when an aide began passing out the paperwork for option 5 to fully leave. He asked, hey, what were the other options again? And they told him, oh, sorry, the printer broke. We can only offer you option 5 to leave.
Okay, that didn't happen, but also, please leave. Please leave. You don't want to be royalty. You're not. Goodbye.
Shortly after, he learned that he'd been financially cut off from Charles. Well, that'll happen when you leave.
Right.
Harry acknowledged that it was absurd for a man in his 30s to complain about being cut off, but added, quote, cutting me off therefore meant firing me without redundancy pay. Oh, well, sure, a little something for your time. Because you were in New Zealand, you were perfectly behaved. And
you know what though? When my parents stopped talking to me, I wondered about redundancy pay too. I mean, where were my other 3 options?
Cutting me off, therefore, I meant firing me without redundancy pay and casting me into the void after a lifetime of service. More after a lifetime of rendering me after a lifetime of rendering me otherwise unemployable.
Don't worry about it. She's going to be a great actress. Is she in anything yet?
Lots going on right now.
Who wouldn't hire her?
Right. Who wouldn't hire her? People would hire him too.
Yeah. What movie could she not get into?
What movie can he get into?
Right.
He added that the argument became heated after this, claiming that between him and his brother, they started fighting about it. Claiming that William grabbed him by the shirt and told him to, quote, swear on Mummy's life, though, that Harry understood that William wanted him to be happy. Quote, he said, even though we're fighting, you know I love you, right? And then grabbed him by the shirt and said, you know that, right? I swear on Mummy's life.
Oh, he's psychotic.
Quote, he'd used the secret code on Mummy's life. That was the universal password. Ever since we were boys, those 3 words were to be used only in times of extreme crisis on Mummy's life. For nearly 25 years, we reserved that soul-crushing vow for times when one of us needed to be heard, to be believed quickly. For times when nothing else would do. You know, when you're in a hurry, like, quick, the armies are coming, get the dragons. You know, you gotta be like, I swear on Mummy's life, get the dragons.
Why not just believe each other?
Quote, it stopped me cold as it was meant to, not because he used it, but because it didn't work. I simply didn't believe him, didn't fully trust him, and vice versa. He saw it too. He saw that we were in such a place of such hurt and doubt that even those sacred words couldn't set us free.
Oh my God. You know how you wanted your dad to do a podcast, but you just didn't want to,
deal with
it for him?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, somebody did this whole family a favor. They're like, There you go. He didn't want to be a prince. Look what a loss.
The memoir closes on the death of Queen Elizabeth II in September 2022. Harry wrote that he got a call from Charles, his dad, telling him to come, and claimed that Charles began to list out reasons why Meghan wasn't welcome. Quote, it was nonsensical and disrespectful, and I wasn't having it. Don't ever speak about my wife that way, end quote.
Keep my wife's name out your mouth.
Harry wrote that he still decided to say his goodbyes. Quote, it was difficult, but I kept on thinking how I'd regret it not seeing my mother at the end.
Wait, so did his wife come?
I don't know. That's not there.
Yeah, just a minor detail. Why would we want to know that? In a book about your fucking life. The whole fight was about how she can't come to the funeral, but don't fill us in.
There's an independent bookstore in England, and they have like a standing bookshelf where they're showing off the book. So each little square in this bookshelf is just one book, standing up. And so they have that book, Prince Harry, spare. And then in between it on every other shelf is a nonfiction book, is a fiction book from Bella Mackey called How to Kill Your Family.
That's funny.
That's cute. There it is.
That's funny. That's ballsy.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Yeah.
Speaking of deaths, Lisa Marie Presley passed away at age 54. Of course, the only child of Elvis
Presley.
Yeah. A housekeeper found Lisa Marie unresponsive in her bedroom. Her ex-husband, who lives with her, performed CPR until paramedics arrived.
Michael Jackson?
No. This was another husband. There were a couple husbands. Priscilla, 77, was spotted rushing to the hospital, her mom to be by her daughter's side. While hospitalized, Priscilla reassured fans that her daughter was receiving the best care, but of course it didn't take.
Priscilla's alive?
Yeah.
What did she think of that Elvis movie? That's crazy.
They were at the Golden Globes when the dude that played Elvis won. So they were pleased. I mean, they had to get permission from the estate.
Interesting. And wait, what did Lisa Marie die of?
We don't know, but it was heart failure, but we don't know yet.
Oh my goodness. That's awful. She's so young.
Presley suffered the medical emergency in her home just 2 days after attending the Golden Globes. It's with a heavy heart that I must share the devastating news that my beautiful daughter, Lisa Marie, has left us, said Priscilla. She was the most passionate, strong, and loving woman I have ever known. I loved all her different heads. That's interesting. Austin Butler won Best Actor in a Drama Film for his portrayal of Lisa Marie's father in Elvis. Butler dedicated part of his acceptance speech to Lisa Marie and Priscilla Presley. I noticed this, by the way. Austin Butler, the guy that plays Elvis, he thinks he's Elvis now. Here's
also like what, but this makes him further think that, because this is a serious article about a person who passed away, and then they're showing. It's like credits are scrolling from a movie. This guy played her father. He didn't even they're not even saying who played her, which I know she wasn't in that movie, but played her father in a what? What does that have anything to do with it? Why is his name in this article at all?
I know at age 12, I'm reading it when I say I know. By age 12, she inherited the Graceland mansion. By 25, she inherited her father's estate, but I understand that all those millions are gone, and because of drugs, like dad.
Yeah, but it can, but the legacy, doesn't that make money?
I have to assume something with this movie, right? So anyway, this is Austin Butler. This is him before he got hired as Elvis. He's being interviewed because he was in the Carrie Diaries, the TV show based on Sex and the City.
Okay, so I'm here with CW.
That's not him, to be clear.
CW's newest heartthrob, and you know it, Austin Butler. How excited are you to be Sebastian on the Carrie Diaries?
I'm really excited. It's been a great experience so far, and we have a lot to go. And yeah, it's just been a good time filming in New York,
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't listening, but you didn't say anything, so it doesn't matter.
Well, she didn't ask anything.
Right.
What kind of question? Who cares?
Right. So now this is him just the other day at the Golden Globes. Tell me if you hear a voice difference.
Oh man, all my words are leaving me. I just am so grateful right now. I'm in this room full of my heroes. Brad, I love you. Quentin, I printed out the Pulp Fiction script when I was 12. I cannot believe it.
Right? He thinks he's Elvis. He's not. He doesn't have a cold. That's how he talks now.
I don't know what you're talking about, Keith. I don't hear a goddamn difference at all. I think
he's shaking his one leg.
What? That's just what my hips do, Keith. Okay. I think you're exaggerating. I think you're looking for a story and you got nothing here. Please move on. In
2003, Lisa Marie released her first studio album, To Whom It May Concern. She followed up with 2 more albums in 2005.
The second one was called Apparently Concerns No One. The third one is How About Now?
Hey guys, I'm over here. Received the highest praise from critics. Presley also married several famous figures throughout her life. Musician Danny Cogg from 1988 to 1994. Okay, so maybe I said earlier her husband. I guess he lives with her, but they've been broken up. Michael Jackson was 94 to 96. Nicolas Cage, 2002 to 2004. And guitarist Michael Lockwood from 2006 to 2016. On her marriage to
Okay.
Michael
Oh, wait,
Jackson.
I'm sorry. All of those counted? Okay.
Right.
Sure. What if she, like, imagine her filling out her passport? Ooh.
Oh, I got a couple of phone
Whoa.
calls to make. On her marriage to Michael Jackson, she told Oprah Winfrey in 2010, I didn't understand my relationship with him. I always confused that manipulation, thinking that it meant he didn't love me, but I understand it better now. The manipulation was a survival tactic for him.
What does that even mean?
I don't
What did
know,
she
but
just say?
what was the boy fucking?
What are
Depression?
you talking about?
Presley has had 4 children, Riley and Ben with the latest person, twin daughters with Lockwood, Ben with the latest person died by suicide in 2020 at the age of 27, a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Oh my God.
So not an
Wow,
easy life.
this poor, like her mother losing generations of people before. Priscilla, I mean, that's, you lost a grandkid and now your own kid. Like, wow, that's a lot.
Do you know this guy, Andrew Callaghan? He
No,
he
I
does
looked him up and no.
he was popular on YouTube. It still is, I suppose. You know, this is just breaking news. I'm gonna tell you, he's still alive. Old Gas No Breaks was his YouTube channel, and then it was called Channel 5 on YouTube, and now there's an HBO thing called This Place Rules about where the insurrection and all these things. For the most part, he interviews idiot far right wing people saying about, you know, QAnon, all this kind of thing. And,
Like in a serious way, or he's like, look at these
he just lets them talk and they look like idiots. He's acting like he's serious, but if they knew what he was up to, they'd kick his ass.
Okay.
He looks like a real nerdy guy. 24 years old.
Oh, so maybe I did see him because okay, but anyway, go ahead.
I'll put his picture on the website. Maybe people recognize it. He's getting so many sexual misconduct complaints. You'd think he's one of the good ones. So many women saying he's putting his hand down women's pants. They're telling him no. He keeps insisting. He had to be thrown out of a car once. All this kind of stuff.
That's sexual misconduct?
It's right. I guess nobody wants to say it's assault. You know, like women say he kept pressing me into sex. To end it, I had sex with him, and so nobody knows the right word to find for that.
Right. Wow.
Here's a legal representation for Andrew. Says Andrew is devastated that he's being accused of any type of physical or mental coercion against anyone. Conversions about pressure and consent are extremely important, and Andrew wants to have these conversations so he continue to learn and grow. Everybody just wants to learn and grow. A lot of groping.
I just want to have conversation.
Yeah. Here's one woman, Callaghan, touched my inner thigh, kissed my neck. I kept telling him to stop. He's kept trying to put my hand down my pants. And anytime these stories come out, the MO is always the same. Cosby's thing was always, here, why don't you come? I'll practice a script from the Cosby Show with you and give you coffee or wine. All of this guy's MO seems the same. Doesn't take no for an answer. Very, very aggressive.
Was it a learning moment when he got thrown out of a car, or did he have to wait a little bit longer to connect?
Well, you don't just go to math class once.
That's
right?
true. You practice math.
Right. It's cumulative. He was very pushy, said another woman, not taking no for an answer. I was like, no, I'm not feeling it. Eventually, she relented, she said, because she was coerced into various sexual acts with Callaghan. I was sexually assaulted when I was 14, this person says, by someone else. I fought back hard against that person. I pushed that person off me. I think in the moment, that's why I didn't fight Callaghan off me as much as I could have, and I tried to turn him down politely until he begged, and I finally let him touch me.
Damn.
So now, of course, you see online men saying, oh, am I an assaulter then? Because I kept asking for sex. I was like, hey, give it a couple of days. See what society's telling you. Okay. You don't got to defend so fast. When Caroline woke up at 4 a.m. having this one person I'm talking about, when Caroline woke up at 4 a.m. having a full-blown panic attack, she kicked Callaghan out of her apartment. After a few months, she said she blamed herself for the encounter and felt guilty inviting him over. I internalized a lot of disgust and anger at the situation, she said, adding that her mother brought her a new comforter because she didn't even want to sleep in the same bed. So these women are saying, you know what? I was just going to let it go, but this guy now is an HBO special. He just happened to be on that popular Hot Ones show. You know, you see him all the time. And it's like, no, these women are like, I got to say something. I don't like people saying what a great guy this is. Absolutely Productions, the company founded by Tim and Eric, the comedy guys. On Thursday, Tim Heidecker addressed the allegations against Callaghan on his weekly podcast Office Hours, saying, "It's been a very painful week for us. We have no professional relationship with Andrew at this time and no plans going forward to have any relationship with him." So people are believing these women. "We believe the women who came forward and, of course, totally condemn the type of behavior that Andrew is being accused of." You know what? Good. I'm kind of mad at Andrew, actually, for a different reason as well. I'm sick of this new pattern of videos on the internet where you for no reason, you just quickly cut the pause between two sentences. I think the pause is important. The pause isn't long. Your video isn't really any shorter. That's not how people talk. And another thing he does that seems to be the cool thing to do is a giant close-up on one person. And if two people are talking, you only get half of the two people's face. What is happening? Lock them up for that. Give them the death penalty for all this.
I do think that's how people are doing videos now.
Why? You can't see everybody in the room. And what they do, they also take scenes from like The Godfather, like a classic scene. And they're like, hey, remember this scene? But they just show it close up. It's not a joke. It's just the way kids want to see stuff. I don't like it. I think it's bad. I can't explain why, but it's bad for people.
You know what I think would be funny if we take this section and Xerxes takes out all the pauses and puts it out on YouTube as a short. So enjoy it.
The internet and people that respond to it upset me so much. I just happened to see a video where it's a magic trick. They show a chair. Somebody puts a cape over the chair, a little sheet, pulls it away. There's a woman underneath. And somebody looking for hits is like, could this be a wizard pretending to be a magician? How the fuck do you do? And all the comments, no one could tell you how to do it because it's amazing, but everybody acts like they know how it's done. It's like the chair. The chair what? You don't know. Why are you acting like you know? Here's the chair, the box under the chair. It doesn't look like a woman can fit in that chair. It's a chair. It's magic, but it's just tricks. Is it Einstein? Is it just tricks?
Sounds like they're writing a book to tell.
She's hiding in the chair. Then somebody else just wrote, I know how it's done. It's what, you know what else upsets me? It's irrational, but it upsets me. When you see somebody go, hey guys, what's 2 + 7 × 4? So, you do the multiplication before you do the addition. So 30. It's 28 + 2. It's 30. But maybe it's a trick. 2 + 7 × 4, people will think it's 36. So then you see somebody looks it up and they write 30. And then there's like 60 people under that. 30. I know it's 30, obviously 30. This was a week ago. Who gives a fuck you got it right when you're the 200th fucking person and you obviously saw everybody else's messages? Die.
How about the ones where they're like, your name of the street that you grew up plus your social security number is your porn name.
Right.
And people are like, I know this one. Yeah,
take advantage of those people. Good. That's fantastic. Oh, well, that's the internet, and we're so happy to be part of it. Chemda is going to come back to the great New York City. We're excited to have you.
And next week, oh my goodness, VIPs, get ready. Hours and hours of content are coming at you. Bianca's recording with us. The Morrows are recording with us. Chew is recording with us. There's going to be too many shows. KeithandTheGirl.com/VIP. Thank you for being a VIP. We're going to thank you right back next week. Holy shit. Let's talk about how all of these guests were assholes this week. Fuck all of you. See you under VIP last week, bitches.